everyone. Coach Tommy here live, coming to you, Smashing Plastic Podcast with the man, the myth, the legend in his hometown. He's home from the road, Anderson Scarpa. You know the name, but we're going to allow him to introduce himself to you. Anderson, tell all these people who you are.
Oh, first of all, Tommy, thanks for having me. Really a pleasure to be here at Crush Yard, which is where I practice a lot. But yeah, my name's Anderson Scarpa, born and raised in Charleston, South Carolina. So I lived here my whole life. I've been playing pickleball for about 5 years now.
Okay.
Played tennis my whole life, played Division I college tennis at Mercer University. And yeah, just been grinding on the tour for a couple years now, and I'm blessed to be able to play pickleball for my career, so it's just been awesome.
So a lot to unpack there. So first and foremost, everybody heard that right. He is Charleston born, bred, and raised. This dude literally lives and is from the Holy City. So all of you folks out there who believe that you have to be from Utah or, Austin to be a pro pickler, that is not the case. In fact, Anderson, how much do you think and how much are you seeing the Charleston scene in pickleball raise?
I mean, so when I first started playing 5 years ago, I kind of, it was definitely just starting out. They're guys like you and a few others are really promoting the sport and trying to get people out and playing. But now, I mean, like with Crush Yard opening up, there's also Pickleball Kingdom that opened up, another indoor place, and just like courts seem to be popping up everywhere, and which is awesome to see. And yeah, it's I'd say pickleball in Charleston's definitely on the come up right now.
Yeah, one of the things that I love that you do too, and if you haven't already, you got to check out some of Anderson's Instagram stuff, and we'll get all that a little bit later. But one of the things that you do is you really reiterate the guys and gals that you practice and play with here.
Yeah.
The Kutzmeyers, who, by the way, are absolute animals.
Yes.
Every time I'm around them, all I want to do is I feel like I got to do another goddamn crunch or bench press, sweet mother of God. But the Max Wild, right? Like he's a guy that you play with.
Yeah.
Give us a shout out on some of those guys and gals and how important it is for you to have like just a group that's local that you can literally send a text message and say, hey, dude, I need a drill, right? How important is that?
Oh, it's huge. Like you said, Jake and Luke Kutzmeyer, Max Wild, Kevin Caulfield, Justin Slattery, Vicente Munoz, Olivia McMillan. I can go on and on.
Right.
A lot of great players in the city, and a lot of them are working other jobs. This isn't their full-time gig, but they're gracious enough to I'll text them and they'll be willing to come out and maybe drill with me if I need to drill or to get games. So they've been awesome. It's really good.
Yeah. So working man. So tell us a little bit about who you are in the background. So if I'm not mistaken, got a baby on the way, got one already, married. Give us a little bit of background of a little fireside chat with Anderson Scarpa, the family man that I love to hear about.
Yeah, so I have a daughter who's almost 2.5 now, and my wife's about to give birth to a baby boy in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
So that's exciting. But been married for a couple of years now. I met my wife about 8 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
She'll correct me on that when she watches this. It's been awesome. I don't know if I necessarily expected to be a father at this stage of my life, but I think it's been great. It's given me more focus in what I'm doing. I think having a kid, as odd as it sounds, I think it sort of lights a fire under you and makes you want to do better for yourself and for your family. And so I guess that's natural, but it's been great for my career.
So working man too. So most people don't know this about you. I do, but you're a full-time, operational working guy as well. You are not just full-time tour, correct? Like you have to work as well, right? Are you both?
No.
You are full-time tour?
I'm full-time pickleball. Yeah, I was working in the family business, Carolina Sports Services, but I stopped that I stopped that almost 3 years ago, actually.
Wow.
So I literally, I don't even coach a whole lot anymore, to tell you the truth. It's all, all my earnings are from my PPA tour contract and from any additional prize money and sponsors. That's it.
Wow. So you've got that in the back of your brain to where like it is literally, it's go out, kill it, eat it. That's where you're at right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Big deal. Big, awesome. So family business though background. So one of the things that you and I also have in common is the fact that sports services. So your family, you are like you grew up doing sports services. Like all about courts and how to do them, right?
Yeah. You're very familiar with paint and it's resurfacing, painting, pretty much any outdoor sports service, tennis, basketball, beach volleyball. We've done a few, track, baseball diamonds occasionally. And then we started doing pickleball as a business about 5 years ago. We started, this was kind of like coincided with the rise of pickleball in Charleston. There's we started to have a lot of jobs where it was existing tennis courts or basketball courts, and the clients would want them turned either into pickleball or have pickleball lines put on the courts. And so naturally I got curious. I was like, what is this? And I think I watched a few YouTube videos of and Tyson McGuff, Ben Johns popped up. And so, me playing Division I college tennis, I was a fairly high level tennis player, not professional, but I was, fairly high level. And I thought to myself, well, this looks easy. I could probably dominate at this. Which isn't exactly true, but I wouldn't say dominate, but it gave me the spark and the idea to want to go out and play. So
now you've got a background. Obviously, your tennis background, like you said, but you literally kind of get the pickle bug because of the family business. Like, you're literally like, what is this pickleball thing? And I can attest, like, I don't know if you remember this, but when I think it's one of these retirement communities called Del Webb that's out in Somerville actually called me out one time to take a look at redoing their lines or something super simple. And this was like 2020. So pickleball even then was like 100-year-old sport, right? Like, everybody that's playing this thing is, 97 years old, is what we thought, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm always been, as a baseball background, I've always been really big into ping pong. And I saw these old guys playing. Anderson, they were having a blast.
Yeah.
Like, they legitimately played the entire time that we were like around one of these courts that we were working on. So it's comical to me how just the spark like then, but even then I could be like, dude, this looks like a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that I love about you, and if you watch Anderson on television, which you need to, we'll get into all that in a minute, is you legitimately like playing pickleball.
Yeah. I think you have to, if you want to play it at a professional level, you have to be kind of obsessed with it.
Right.
There are a lot of people that like pickleball or might even love it, but it takes almost like kind of an addiction to perfecting shots and getting better, and you have to start having dreams about pickleball.
Sure.
I'll literally have dreams of I'll be asleep and it'll come to me in a dream like a different drill I can do. So I'll implement drills that I kind of have visions of and stuff like that. So it's like you kind of have to be fully immersed in it to get to the pro level, but the beauty of pickleball is like it's mostly the amateur level, right? Like it's a lot of amateur players, which is great. That's how the sport has grown. That's how it's gone from grassroots to more national
literally
attention. So yeah, it's been awesome.
So when you talk about like your drilling and dreaming, one of the things that I'm very curious, because at the level that you play, the smallest idiosyncrasy or difference that people are picking up where they may have an opportunity, they will just pound it, right? Whatever that may be. We'll high level say your backhand's weak and yours isn't, but prime example, if it is, you'll never see a shot that's not towards your backhand. You agree?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
So you developing drills that allow you to fail, because that's where your drill comes from, is like, hey, I've got to get better at X because they are exposing me on this. I've got to figure out something that gets better at that. How much better would amateurs learn from just watching how they play?
Yeah, you can certainly learn a lot watching the pro level. One thing that's interesting, actually, I don't think a lot of people know this, but if you play let's say like a 5-0 tournament, that's like the highest level amateur play, right? A lot of those teams are pretty good. Those guys and gals are good, and part of what makes them good at that level is because they're a little more raw, and so they're going for shots that you don't normally see at the pro level. Pro level, everything's very refined.
Okay.
The strategy's very, it's kind of set in stone a lot of times, but you get different looks at those lower levels a little bit. Levels obviously lower overall, but it just goes to show that people, they can bring their own skills and magic to the sport, which is great.
I've heard some commentators talk. I listened to a lot of the guys, like, for instance, when our beloved Ben Johns loses, for the while there was like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy loses. And one of the things they talked about Anderson was the fact of he is most susceptible to somebody that he has not played a lot.
Yeah.
Because he is not, like you said, woven into stone on how somebody's going to play him. So the folks that stand the best against him are those that kind of bring chaos his way. Does that make sense? Are you agreeing with that?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, controlled chaos is a good way to put it, right? Like, you're able to sort of replicate those chaotic situations more often than not. And then also too, like, a part of that might be like in those earlier rounds, he's maybe not expecting as good of a match. So if you're able to bring your best stuff and throw some funky stuff at him that he's not used to, you never know. This stuff can happen. It's not just him. That goes for basically any player.
Right.
And another beautiful thing about pickleball is a lot of the factors in pickleball are it's kind of like an equalizer, right? The wiffle ball, you can only hit the ball so hard.
Right.
So it makes it, possible to have like really sick defensive gets, and stuff like that. So, and also just like the scoring, right? Like you can only score points on your serve, so you can be more aggressive on your serve,
Sure.
and stuff like that. So it's I feel like even at the highest levels, everyone's beatable. Everyone's human, right? Like,
sure.
So it's
You have a day, you have a bad day, you have a good day, whatever it may be, weather, all of the above. Even the court surfaces that you play on, and that's one of the things, man, I could sit here and talk shop with you for 27 hours on that, but like one of the pet peeves of mine, and it's got to be of you because you're literally doing this for a living, is how different your setup is like every single time that you show up at a place to play.
Yeah, it's not only the court surface. I mean, I can get into that because I'm an expert on the court surfaces.
Sure.
Like this past weekend, we just played on rollout court, which is basically like a thin rubber mat.
Okay.
That's painted over with court paint, and the ball doesn't bounce up at all. There's a lot of dead spots, so like there's that factor. But then also just depending on what part of the country you play, if you're playing out in California or Utah where like there's altitude and it's a little drier, the ball plays so much differently. Like the ball just flies. You have to adjust your technique. Like literally, you have to adjust your technique when you go to Utah or Denver.
Sure.
Or, you name it. So it's a lot of it's crazy how much it affects that little plastic ball.
The variables that you guys have to deal with, and then the stuff that you see with on a weekly basis too now, to where like legitimately. So for instance, everybody watching at home, Anderson literally just flew in from New York, finished up MLP with the Chefs. We'll let him talk about that in a second. But even the ball, right? Like now some of the events that you play in have different balls, right?
Oh yeah. Well, so the PPA just introduced the lifetime ball as the official ball, but which is it's kind of a bouncier ball.
Okay.
But MLP is still using the Vulcan, which that's I guess more like a traditional pickleball, if you will. But yeah, like at the amateur level, you have people bringing out Franklins,
sure,
or Selkirks or Duras, whatever, So yeah, it's a lot of different options out there for balls. That's for sure.
It's crazy. So as a baseball background, it's one of those things that just comically I look at. Like I just could not imagine watching the Los Angeles Dodgers play. The field dimensions change every time they show up. The field surface changes every single time they show up. The ball may be different. Like there's so many variables that you guys deal with like on a professional level. And I have a funny feeling that a lot of this will change right in the near future. I feel like our sport is literally becoming more and more, well, I don't want to use the word professional because you guys are true pros, but more consistent, right? Like I think that's what you want. That's what every player wants. That's definitely what every coach wants, is so that you can work on A, B, and C, knowing that A, B, and C are going to be A, B, and C. Right now they could be J, K, H. You don't know, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Get ready to dive into a world of greatness with Smashing Plastic Pickleball. Elevate your game and look good doing it. From beginners to pros, we've got gear for every player. But that's not all. Planning an event? Let our experienced team make it a smashing success. Want to improve your skills? Our certified PPR professionals offer top-notch coaching, clinics, and lessons for all levels. Don't you wait. Experience the greatness of Smashing Plastic Pickleball today. Visit our store, join our events, and unleash your pickleball passion.
Yeah, and another aspect of that too, like with the ball, is like of course the tours are going to welcome two different ball sponsors, right? That's more money in their pockets.
100%.
But yeah, I agree. I think it will become more streamlined. Like it'll be more, not just with the balls, but with the surfaces, with paddle specs, like how hot a paddle can be, how much grit. I think they're still trying to figure that out, to tell you the truth. So
right. It's definitely the wickedy Wild West when it comes to paddles. And I'm sure just you said you've been playing for 5 years. I've been coaching that much for Anderson. It's night and day what you and I played with 5 years ago as it is today, right? Like it literally is night and day what we have in our hands right now with.
Yeah. I mean, the paddle I first started off with was a Selkirk that had literally like zero grit. Like it was smooth. And I think it made me a better player, actually, because you're forced to get really good at the touch and feel shots. You can't rely on spin as much. So I think I am grateful that I got into the sport when I did, because it sort of forces me to
have good habits, right?
Yeah, to work on the right stuff. You can't get away with like sloppy technique or really anything like that. So yeah, it's a good and a bad thing, I guess. But.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that I'm always kind of keeping my eye on, especially as we get students now that roll in that have never touched a paddle, and then they grab and this is not a shout out to them, but like you get a Yola, you know what I mean? it's just amazing how much pop they have right off the rip. I'm talking about like a legitimate person who's never touched a paddle can hit one by you. You know what I mean? Literally, or body bag. One of my friends, and shout out to Noah Winningham. He was, coaching little Helena last week. And the first shot, Helena, by the way, who's 10 years old, body bags him. You know what I mean? This is a 5-0 player that gets body bagged by a 10-year-old because she smacks a Yola from, 8 feet on the kitchen line. And we just it's just one of the greatest videos that I've seen.
Oh my gosh.
But it's just a testament to how hot these paddles really are that you guys are swinging out there.
Yeah, sure. And like you can compare it to baseball, like maybe with the metal bats versus the wood
100%.
bats. I don't know much about baseball. You could fill me in on that more. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy, like the variance in equipment, and like you can honestly, like if you're like if pickleball had sports betting, like you could almost place bets on like which paddle, like on players depending on which paddle they use.
Sure.
Like, honestly, like it's not
that much of a difference in play. Wow. So let's talk tour life, just because now you're a family guy, you've been married, you got all these kids, now you got 2 kids coming. Walk us through what tour life looks like for the Anderson Scarpa household. What does that look like so that somebody at home can understand what tour life looks like for a professional pickleball player?
Sure, yeah. So if I'm home for a week, like say I don't have a tournament, basically I'm in here at Crush Yard almost every morning at 6 a.m. Drilling with Jake or Luke or one of those other guys I mentioned for a few hours. If I have a long block of time off, if I don't have a tournament for a few weeks, like I might do a session in the morning, then go to the gym for an hour, get some strength conditioning in, and then try and get games in the afternoon. That would be like a typical day. Do that 6 days a week, try and take 1 day off a week.
Right.
That way, I get my practice done early, and I can sort of be at home with my daughter and give my wife a break. She works very hard
right.
to keep that house together. But then during like a tournament week, like I probably won't do the 2 a day. Like I'll probably just do the morning session, and then just do rest, recovery, and hang with the family, and then like the days leading up to the tournament, like really taper it down and try and focus more on just feeling the ball and getting good repetitions in and working on the right stuff.
Who handles your travel? Is that a you thing? Is it a wife thing? Do you have somebody that helps you with all that? Because I would imagine logistics have got to be like, that's a thing for you. Like you legitimately have to logistically iron this stuff out. Yeah,
it's on me to organize it all. I do have an agent, Nate Schaefer. He's been great. He helps me get these endorsements, but he's not the one that's organizing all my travel and logistics and stuff like that. But yeah, that part of it's on me.
Okay, so you've got to literally figure out how to stay in shape, how to drill, how to basically make sure that the wife still knows your name, make sure that the daughter knows who you are. You have to get on an airplane and go play against the best players in the world.
Yep.
And this is literally Anderson Scarpa's life right now, day by day.
Yeah. Every day I'm on a mission, and even right now I don't have a tournament until for like a month and a half, but I'm still trying to stay in that tournament mode and stay locked in.
So that brings me up to, I want you to give us a recap because I do want everybody to hear. So you're literally fresh off the airplane from New York. You play for the Nashville Chefs, which is an MLP team that you guys need to check out. I think it's owned by Jared Paul, who owns the kitchen. Is that correct?
So Jared's the general manager. Him and Caleb Hodder are the GMs. It's owned by, I know one of the owners is Brian Smiley. I think maybe Amir Delich, who was a former pro tennis player.
Okay.
He might have been part of it. They were also owned partly by Dude Perfect.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they sold last year.
Oh, man. You could have got us some Nerf products, bro. Holy cow. That would have been freaking awesome.
I know.
Walk us through what that's like, because that's got to be I know that was a big deal for you, right? Like you're on an MLP team. Like for me personally, I love MLP. Like I don't know what your personal opinion is. Everybody's got their own thing, but I love it. Like I love the team dichotomy. I'm obviously a baseball guy, so the team aspect feeds for me. Man, navigate us through MLP and how different that is than you picking up your partner and going playing with Greg Dow or whoever maybe. How different is it to have a team aspect?
It's very different. I've had my best results in MLP. I feel like it brings the best out of me because you're not just playing for yourself, you're playing for your teammates. Kind of reminds me of college tennis.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, just getting on an MLP team is really hard. There's a lot of really, really good players that aren't on teams.
Sure.
And so I feel lucky to be on a team. I don't take it for granted. I try and, prove every day that, it was a good choice to pick me up for their team. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's another equalizer, if you will. Like in PPAs, everyone's picking their own partners. If you're a better player, you get better partners.
Sure.
So it's sort of tough to climb the ladder in that sense. But with MLP, you don't necessarily get to choose your own partners.
Right.
You kind of get assigned who you're going to play with, and it's basically it kind of boils down to the teams that are most successful are full of the players that are able to be the most adaptable and gel best with players they're not used to playing with.
Right.
That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, so the chemistry aspect that you guys have, and by the way, this is a mixed event, so you have 2 ladies, you have 2 guys. You have alternates or subs too, right? Is that you have an extra person there or somebody that they allow on your team, or
there's an on-site substitute. So like if for whatever reason one of us
somebody
gets
gets hurt or
injured,
whatever.
yeah.
So it's basically built on a team of 4, 2 ladies, 2 guys,
Yeah.
and it's a team format. So just so you guys know how this works, it'll be both men play both men, then both ladies play both ladies, then it's mixed. Anderson will play with his female partner. Who's your teammate that you have on Chefs?
Marshall Brown, and then Eva Razakowska and Jeannie Arakina.
So it's literally, if you haven't watched MLP, which hopefully most of you on this podcast have watched, you need to tick it up. He's on the Chefs. They just finished up. So walk us through New York. You guys battled. First and foremost, that season that you have is insane, right? Like how many times you guys are playing each other with the way that is ironed out is mind-boggling to me as a coach and as a baseball guy. Walk us through what that's like, dude, playing the same team so many times as you guys got.
That was it was pretty tough, to be honest. Like,
right.
Not. I mean, the physical aspect, obviously, but just mentally having to see the same people week after week. And I mean, there was a stretch where I was literally on the road 6 out of 8 weeks, and like my wife's heavily pregnant. We got a kid at home. Like that's not easy.
Right.
So I don't know how she did it. And then yeah, it is tough, but in a way, also getting that many high level reps, like in such short succession, I think it made me a better player. Like
okay.
I think I improved as a player from May of this year to now. So I'm grateful for that. It is a grind though. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Speaking of grind and speaking of the MLP, one of the things that I love watching you play is how you are literally known as a blue collar player. I hope that you don't take offense to that, because I don't. It's what we do for a living.
Yeah.
But you're known as a blue collar. And if I were to title this podcast, it would be like Grit, Grind, and Guts with Anderson Scarpa. You are one of the grittiest, grindiest dudes that I watch on tour. And I watch a lot of pickleball, too much, to be honest with you. One of the things that I love about that, though, is that you seem like you always have your crap together. Like you don't lose your crap on the court. How do you do that? Like, how do you do that at the level knowing how much every point, how much every win matters? You got kids at home. Like, how do you do that? How do you keep your crap together?
That's a good question. I would say just in general, pickleball is there's so many ups and downs, and I think it's a really big part of being a high level player is not attaching an emotional reaction to the result of any given rally. Right, win or lose, you have to kind of just forget about it and move on to the next. It sounds simple. It is simple, but in practice, it's really not. It's really tough to do. But yeah, it's just. And so I found that, some people like to really fire themselves up and be rah-rah and talk smack. For me, it's like I'll go off the rails if I do that. I really just have to stay within myself and just like try not to think about anything negative that just happened. And and it's also a self preservation thing too, like physically, because it's long grindy points. We're playing in the heat. I don't have the energy to even have a negative reaction a lot of the times. A lot of times I'm just really focusing on the next point. Like. So yeah,
I love it. There's so much that we could unpack from that one little segment right there. There's so many good nuggets. But one of the things that I coach our ball players, both baseball and pickleball, is we can play with emotion, but we can't play emotionally. Because the second that we start playing emotionally, just like you said, now I'm tied to things that I have no control over.
Yeah.
I can't control the bad hop. I can't control the wind took it into the net. Can't control the net cord. There's so many things that are out of my control. So if I'm going to tie my emotions to that, now I am a slave to that item that just happened that I have no control over. Mm-hmm. So now I'm upset. You're frustrated with me because I'm upset. And now I'm a bad teammate because I just simply can't keep my crap together about a net cord.
Right.
I watch so many good players that I really feel like would be great players if they could learn kind of what you just said of that mental grind. It's part of it, right? Like you have to study and train that just as hard as you do your drop shot, just as hard as you do your amazing quads, right? You agree? Like, and this comes from grit, grind, and guts.
Yeah, 100% agreed. It took me a while to learn that too. Like at the beginning, like I wouldn't say I was emotional, but like I would definitely, get frustrated, and like it would affect the point after and the point after that, and maybe it would cost me the game. And as I've played longer and longer, like I just can't afford to to have lapses like that. I just can't. Like, I have no choice. I have to keep it together.
Yeah, you've got so many people and so many things that are depending on it. So now you have that leadership role, and I'm so excited for you because I really do feel like, and I mean this with every fiber of my body, I feel like the sky's the limit. I've watched a lot of the way that you play. You're a fantastic representative for the state of South Carolina, for Charleston in general.
Appreciate that.
With that being said, man, give us some flowers on some guys and gals that you've got. So who you're sponsored by, what does that look like? Get them some flowers, man, on these guys and gals that are keeping you in this chair being able to play pickleball.
Yeah, so main sponsors, Crush Yard, Paddle Tech, Bodie, Rally, Trey with 5 Zeros, been great. He was actually the first one to teach me how to play pickleball.
Shout out Trey.
Yeah, and he does a lot of my social media stuff, so he's been great. DAPS Pickleball, they're one of our team sponsors. Ion weighted vests. A lot of people. It just everyone who I've ever practiced with or is taking time out of their day or life to train with me, and even if it's just a little bit, every little bit makes a difference. And I definitely wouldn't be here today without them.
That's awesome. All right, so now we got some fun time. We've gone through the nitty, the gritty. Got some questions for Anderson that have come in. Are you ready for this, buddy?
Ready.
This is where we're going to put you on. This is where we're going to put you on the spot. So who on tour, and this is not a personal attack, so if you're on tour, chill out. Who on tour is the chittiest chat, trash-talking fool that you absolutely know he's going to bring his crap when you play?
I can give a few different players. If I had to pick, I think an all-timer is Hayden Patrick-Quinn, and he's really good at it too. So it gets under your skin.
And he's like this tall.
Yeah,
but he is a mountain with that mouth.
I have a funny story about him. So I actually played him in a 5-0 tournament. I think he was like 15.
Okay.
So it was him and Wyatt Stone, and I had no idea who they were. And ended up losing 11-9 in the third, and I was like, man, I might have to quit pickleball. I just lost to a kid. But even back then, he was so good. He's a phenomenal player. He's one of the best in the world by far. And then I guess if I had to pick someone recent, James Delgado from the Night Owls. I don't think he's malicious about it. He's just having fun. But yeah,
dude, you have played that fool. I promise you, it feels like 100 times over the last 3 months. Like, oh my gosh, how much have you played that dude?
It's so much fun. And it's always at the beginning of the match. He's very hyped up, and you're full of hope. And then as the game goes along, it just kind of dwindles. And it is what it is.
That's so good. All right, let's see. Next up. Let's see, favorite tournament snack. Are you a guy that's snacking through the tournaments or no?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Basically the only thing I eat during tournament days are those mini Slim Jims.
Yeah. All protein, literally just a Slim Jim guy. Wow. Okay. All right. Which tournament by far you would say is your favorite? Like, do you have something that is on the schedule that you always look forward to going? I know they're all great, but what is one? Golf has the Masters. What is something as a pro pickler that you look forward to? Like, dude, that's a tournament.
I think my favorite, I would say PPA San Clemente.
Really?
Yeah, that's probably a favorite amongst a lot of players. But it's just a beautiful venue, perfect weather. There's always a huge crowd there, which is cool. Close second would be St. George, Utah. Like, I always play well out there, and they always the people in Utah are huge pickleball fans.
Right.
Like, they'll come and just watch you practice. Like, I've never had someone come and watch me practice before. It was crazy. So yeah, St. George, Utah as well.
It's so odd to me that, like, you're the second or third person that we've had on podcast. Like, it's so odd to me that pickleball mecca is Utah. That's just so odd, right? Like, but they have a ton of picklers. Like, they have they have a really good culture of pickleball out there, which is awesome. All right, give us some insights how we find your stuff. Give your shout out to where's your podcast, or do you have an Instagram or handles? Obviously, our producer Sean's going to make sure all of your stuff is tagged before you wrap this thing up. But how do we find you, man? Where you at?
I'm on Instagram. It's just at Anderson Scarpa, all lowercase. Facebook, Anderson Scarpa. Twitter, I think it's just Anderson Scarpa. I don't really go on, or X, rather. I don't really go on that, but I'll retweet a couple of things I find funny or interesting. So
cool. Well, we'll definitely make sure that Sean, our producer, gets all of this stuff, because if you're not following Anderson Scarpa, you got to. Whether you're Charleston-based, whether you're South Carolina-based, dude is a blue-collar, grit-grinding, gutsy freaking pickleball player that is an absolute animal on the rise. Last but not least, we've got Mike that is driving in Mississippi, some 18-wheeler. He's behind a truck right now. It's 12 o'clock at night. He's listening to the Smashing Classic podcast. Anderson Scarpa, what do you tell Mike in order to make him a better pickleball player? Coach's tip of the day from Anderson Scarpa.
Oh, so this is more of a general thing, but it applies to me personally, and I think it's part of what makes me a good player is you have to embrace whatever naturally like is just you, right? So like for example, for me, like I have a unique grip. Like I hold the paddle with more of an Eastern forehand grip and use that same grip for everything. It's funky and maybe not the most economical style to play,
Sure.
but it allows me to have different like looks at attacks and like be able to disguise my shots. I'm not saying do that, but just anyone who starts playing pickleball, like you're going to be like, I would say decent at like one thing or one play, and really build your game around that. I wouldn't worry so much about trying to have the perfect technique, and I think technique's very overrated personally. So like I would say just find what you're naturally good at and just build your entire game around that.
That's awesome. If you've not watched Anderson, I will tell you this. Anderson off the camera, when you play with him, literally does have one of the most unique styles of pickle that I've ever seen. Yeah. But he will humble you with this unique style very, very quickly. So he's a dog. Love him to death. Anderson, can we get you back on and follow up with you in a couple months, see how things are going?
Would love to.
Check on that baby boy that you got on the rails, and hopefully you got a pickleball paddle ready for him.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're going to make sure that you got a couple goodies from Smash before you go. God knows, if you have not seen, by the way, Anderson can create his own weather delay. Outside of myself, Anderson sweats more than any person on the human. So we are getting him some shirts to throw in his bag to make sure that before he gets in that car, he ain't going to make that car all smelly with this stuff that he is wild and out of control because he is a dog. Appreciate you, Anderson, so much, man, for being on, buddy. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right, Coach Tommy out with Smashing Plastic. We will catch you next week, man. Hope you guys have a great week and get out there and smash some plastic. See ya. Hey everyone, Coach Tommy here. Thanks for tuning in to Smashing Plastic. Big shout out to Sean Monahan for the music, production, and editing. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe for more awesome content, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Those links are in the description. Now let's get out there and smash some plastic.